Today's the day. I'm beginning One Piece. I'm not going to apologize for looking like I just crawled under my bed because I slept like 3 hours last night, got lost, and I am emotionally not here. But One Piece is going to fix all of that, isn't it? That's what I've understood. I mean, it's going to both fix that and kind of ruin my emotional state, even further. Before I get to these, I shall first go through what is it that I know about One Piece. Absurdism. I love absurdism, by the way. Taking all of me and my history with the genre into account, I do really think One Piece is going to be for me. But I'm intimidated. There are a lot of these. There are a lot of these books. And besides that, and me being very bad at committing to series, I'm just also scared of not liking it. Like, okay, I'm not so much scared that I'm not gonna like it. I'm more scared that I won't love it. Because from all I've understood about this series, from all I've gathered, is that you need to love it or you will die. Knowing myself, I don't think I'm gonna love it by the end of the first arc because I need to get further in, but I'm excited to begin the journey. Why have I got only 5 comic books on my hand, you might ask? Because One Piece is really popular and I've gotten these from the library. Oh yeah, I was supposed to say what do I know about this series? Pirates, absurdism, both things I really love. Island, that comes with the pirates. And the main character's name is Luffy? Not Lofty. And he wears a straw hat. I've really been avoiding any spoilers. I don't know nothing. I love the fact that these got age ratings. They say recommended to people above the age of 12. I'm above the age of 12, I think. Okay, it was Luffy. I'm gonna read the synopsis for the first one. Okay, I was not expecting One Piece to be a treasure. I was kind of just expecting like One Piece to be the name of the comic. Obviously, I don't know why I didn't expect it to have any meaning. And I keep saying comic, and I probably will keep on saying comic. That's just because I've not read much manga and I'm a comic reader. So it's a comic, just a Japanese comic. That is what a manga is. So I'm sorry for the abuse of the name. But yeah, I'm gonna go read One Piece Volume 1. It's gonna be a journey. It's crazy. It's party. It's not. I ain't gonna lie. I was genuinely surprised by how much I enjoyed that. You know, I kept on saying to myself, like, it's gonna take a bit of getting used to actually start liking this. And I was actually really scared of like filming an update because I was afraid that I was gonna be negative. Or like not necessarily negative, but kind of like, yeah, I'm not sure yet how I feel about this. I like it. I genuinely like it. The art style and the tone of the story are two things that are gonna take much more getting used to. Probably like 20 volumes, maybe 10, but like it's gonna take more volumes than this to get used to because it's just not what I read. I haven't read basically any manga. I tried a couple of mangas when I was like 14, but that's like 7 years ago. So the only manga I've actually read and I'm obsessed with is The Girl from the Other Side, which is a very different in tone and art style. By the way, if you are looking from this video me giving synopsis of what happens in these volumes, I'm not here for that. I'm giving you my uncensored opinions, and my uncensored opinion is that I want more. Like, I can't wait to get into volume 2. That was actually why I was like, okay, I need to sit down and film that update because I want to start volume 2. And I'm actually gonna go on a thing that is gonna sound really weird, but it's a translation because I'm reading these in Finnish because they only have the Finnish translations in the library in Finland. But because I can't get access to all of the volumes, so the volumes to which I can't get access to, I'm gonna read in English online. So I thought I would read the last chapter again online before I go into the next volume so I can get used to it and kind of see the differences. It's very different. Like the translation, it changes a lot because I was reading this and in the Finnish translations they speak with dialects. They speak kind of like, how should I put it? They speak dialectually, that's kind of what I'm saying. But they don't do that. They speak very standard English in here, and I'm gonna assume that is because it's been translated in America, and maybe they wanted to kind of have it be kind of accessible. But I actually prefer the fact that they speak with dialects, because that was kind of something I was scared of, was that writing English without writing dialectually it still makes sense. It reads like people talk, they just speak with a standard dialect. No one speaks the way Finnish is written, which is why it's very disturbing when characters speak like that in stories, especially in comics. But they actually speak like, well, people. But like, I find it funny because like sometimes the translations are completely different. For example, here in this line, Zorro, Zora, Zora, Zorro, Zorro. I don't know how to pronounce this character's name. In the English translation, Luffy says, "Oh, so you're lost?" And Zorro answers, "Shut up, you're the one who's lost," with several exclamation marks. In the Finnish translation, Luffy says, "Oh, so you're a poor lost baby." It doesn't say baby, but like poor thingy. And Zoro answers, "You want me to punch you in the face or what?" That is literally what he says. He says, like, to read this in Finnish, "Siis eksynyt raukka, ... Vedänkö turpaa, häh?" And I find that funny, but like I find it very much more enjoyable. Like, I can't believe I'm enjoying the Finnish translation more. So basically I just wanted to give you that, because like it does impact how I view the characters. Because like I feel like I would have a very different, well, not very different, but like to a degree different view of the characters. And I'm kind of wondering, because I don't think you usually pull these extremes out of nowhere. So has the English translation toned it down from the Japanese a bit? And I'm really curious if anyone speaks or reads Japanese, on whether they are speaking dialectually with different accents, dialects, whatever you want to call it, in the original Japanese. But okay, to get further into what I felt about it, when I read the first chapter, I was kind of like, oh, Luffy, you are quite annoying. But I feel like the relationship I'm gonna have with you is I'm gonna first find you annoying for like a bit of a while, and then kind of slowly, kind of sneakily, I'm gonna fall in love with you. But actually, by the end of the first volume, I'm kind of like, I'm still annoyed by him, but like, it's that good kind of annoyance where I'm like, yeah, you dumb thing, but like I'm smiling, if that makes sense. I really enjoy him, but I feel like he's gonna be the type of character who's not gonna be like my favorite. Maybe he will become back as like, why is it 100 and something volumes? But at the minute, it doesn't feel like he's gonna be the type of a character who is like a favorite of mine, but whom I'm gonna love because of how well he's written. That's kind of what I've understood, is that he's really, like, the characters in this are really well written. So like that is kind of how I feel like he's gonna be the kind of characters like, you don't think I love you, but you don't think. But Zoro is actually really interesting. I think I'm gonna fall in love with him, not gonna lie. Those swords might play a part, but I genuinely do think that how I'm feeling is like in the Finnish translation, and like this is kind of why I'm giving you this, because it does impact my, what I was saying is it impacts my viewing of the characters. So for example, I feel like in the Finnish translation of how I feel the characters is much more, they feel much less childish, if that makes sense. They speak a bit more childish in the English translation, and I feel like I wouldn't have enjoyed it maybe to the degree that I think I enjoyed the first volume if I had read the English translation. But I'm just rumbling on about the translation, probably because I don't have yet that many opinions, so I'm gonna stop it there. But I'm actually really excited to go into the next one. Oh, yeah, that was what I was meant to say. I forgot his name, but the dude that gives Luffy the hat. Shanks. Captain Shanks. I can't wait to see him again. I want to get him back. that scene where he saves Luffy, top tier. Top tier. And I'm actually kind of obsessed with Luffy's powers. I kind of love OP characters. I know people don't like them, but I kind of love OP characters because like the scenes we can get from them, if OP characters are written well, are like top tier. So I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna return to you when I've read the second volume. Summer really decided to arrive, and it is way too hot to even like sit still for 5 minutes. But I finished volume 2 of One Piece. And I'm still enjoying it a lot. Like, this is gonna sound weird, but I think I enjoyed this volume less than the first volume, but my enjoyment of the series has gone up. Like, where my enjoyment and intrigue for this series was at after finishing volume 2 was much lower than where it's at currently, because currently I'm kind of like, I think I'm already in love. I think this is why I was scared of starting One Piece, because I was like, I'm just gonna fall in love with this series and there are too many volumes to ever finish it. And I'm already kind of in love with it. But I did still kind of also like this volume less. I didn't dislike it by any means, but it wasn't as, I don't know, I kept thinking about some scenes that I really loved and I was like, oh yeah, I probably love this more. And then I realized those were all from volume 1. But what did I think about this volume? So I know I last time called One Piece absurdist. I don't actually know, is it absurdist? Like, I just meant more so from all I've understood, it's gonna fit that same humor, and it's so fitting, because one thing I love about absurdism is that stuff just happens, like without explanation. The most random things happen. You're like going that direction and suddenly you're not even heading anywhere because you're already there. And I love that. That is one thing that I just really appreciate with like the kind of absurdist humor that I'm really into. And not even just absurdist humor, just in general, that kind of absurdist oddity. And One Piece does that wonderfully, and it just like hits me the right way. Like, I'm not saying that I'm necessarily laughing a lot, but my favorite type of humor isn't the one that has got me like cackling out loud, but the type of humor that just has me kind of, how do you even put it, just like humorous on the inside. I'm just like grinning if anything, but most of the time it's like a small smirk. But because I read it on my phone, I actually took screenshots of pages that I really loved. And one was where Nami, whom by the way I've kind of grown obsessed with. I love Nami. I think she's a character that really intrigues me. It seems like she's sticking with the crew. I really hope that she will end up sticking with the crew instead of just kind of being a character in the beginning and then just heading off her own way. Like, I can definitely imagine her heading off her own way or dying, but not too soon, because like I'm growing attached. I'm definitely growing attached to Zoro. I love him. He's still my favorite character. Like Luffy, I don't have any new thoughts about him. What I said the last time, 100% holds true. But Nami is like growing on me with every, not volume, but every chapter, every page she's on. And there's just one lovely scene which was like, where she yells, if there's one thing in this world I really hate, it's pirates. But I love money and tangerines. Tangerines? And that came so out of nowhere. And I remember I just gaggled out loud. And I think I was in public. I didn't gaggle like loudly, but I literally laughed out loud. And there was someone, I think I was on the train. I know I was in public and someone just looked at me. And yeah, I don't usually do that, but that just hit me. And that was the first time where I went, okay, I think I'm really gonna obsess over One Piece. I'm really gonna fall in love with this, like head over heels in love, not just, oh yeah, it's cool. Usually it doesn't happen this fast, unless it's like the Sandman, which is just on another level. And I can definitely imagine this being on the same kind of level as the Sandman, but just in a very different way. I don't have much else to say about it. Buggy the Clown is fun. He's a fun character. I wouldn't necessarily say I love him or even like him, but it's like the interactions are entertaining. But I think that is why I'm saying I didn't quite love this one as much as I loved the first volume, because there were things that I loved about it, like how we met up with Nami and Zoro, and like how Zoro was like being taken captive, and everything that was dealt there that I didn't really delve into, that I loved more. Did I do an update on? Yeah, I did. Why am I lagging? And yeah, so even though I enjoyed what was going on in the town, I wouldn't say that I like loved all those scenes. I just kind of loved the general vibe of One Piece and the crew so far. That's kind of my thoughts. I'm gonna head to volume 3 today. Actually, that was one thing I was going to talk about, because I read this online in English, and it did kind of impact my thoughts on it, and I did speak about that longer the last time. But there's one thing that I noticed, is that this is a different translation. I'm currently reading it on an app, but I use the ones that I use for reference, but just pulled from online, so I don't know, was that an official translation? Yeah, I find the humor, like the absurd humor, funny, but like I don't think the characters come across as charming in the English translation. Or maybe I'm just like misremembering, but there was also this level of me just being amused at the Finnish language in the Finnish translation. So I'm just gonna finish the first saga in Finnish, and if I don't particularly love it, or like if I prefer the English one, I'm gonna read them online. Because one thing I really love about reading them online, though I usually don't like reading comics online, is the quality of the art. I did say I think that I wasn't vibing with the art style. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. Like, yeah, to a degree, it's not my art style, but I think it's fantastically made. It's fantastically drawn. So I really appreciate that. I think that's it for now. If volume 1 had me like dipping my toes into the water, and volume 2 had me like taking a little swim, volume 3 had me drowning. I can officially say I'm obsessed, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I loathe it. I don't want to be obsessed, because like, I know myself, and I don't want to like binge 100 of these. 100? Is it? I don't know how many of them there are, but like 100 volumes in a couple of weeks. All the problems I had with kind of the plot in volume 2, this one was like, don't worry about them, we're gonna fix them. This is definitely absurdist, and I love it. That is literally what I love so much about this. It's like the most random stuff happens, but it's not just like kind of random stuff happening for the sake of it being random. Don't ask anything. Like the characters, the everything, nothing makes sense, and that makes sense. That not making senseness makes sense, if that makes sense. Why do I even ask? Does it matter? No. You know what I wasn't sure about until I got here was if I was enjoying the fights or not. But with here, I can definitely say that I am. Sometimes I can't really make sense of the panel itself because so much is happening. I don't think that's a fault of the art style. I have comments about art style, but I'm going to come back to that. And I think it's a fault of the art style. I just think it's a fault of so much happening, and it is black and white, and I can't make sense of it, but I just move on. But like literally with like fiction books, I often just, my brain fogs out during a fight scene, because how fight scenes are often described are not really coherent, so I don't mind that. But no, sometimes they are brilliant in their absurdism, just like how random, but also like internally logical they are. Like illogical might be the wrong term to use, but like they make sense in how they do not make sense. I love Luffy. Like the way he's written, man, he's such an annoying character, but not in the way that I thought he was gonna be. I thought I was gonna just like roll my eyes but kind of love him. No, he's an annoying character in the best way, where I root for the annoyance. I want the annoyance. I love the annoyance. It's like he says everything aloud, which just gets them in trouble. And I love them. I love them. I love that. Often like character has like a tragic flaw, which is kind of, it's made out to be flaw within the narrative so heavy-handedly. It's like see his flaw. You know, this is the thing that destroys everything. This is the annoying part about his character. And like Luffy has that, but it's made in the best way possible, where it's just like, it's enjoyable. It's made like, he did that again. And you want to laugh about it, you want to smile about it, instead of like rolling your eyes and being like, he did that again. It's brilliant. I'm expecting it. That's the thing, I'm expecting it. And I'm expecting it with a smile. I also really enjoyed their side characters. That's something I wanted to notice. Like, the side characters are like so different from each other. I remember each and every side character, and like how well developed they are within the short period that they appear in. Is that a coherent sentence? I don't know. But that is just like brilliant. I knew Oda was... I'm really bothered by that pronunciation. I think it's Oda, not Oda. Everyone says Oda, so I think I should say Oda. I don't think that's the actual pronunciation. Eiichiro Oda.
Eiichiro Oda.
Christ. Wow. Considering if I'm wrong about pronouncing it Oda, I'm gonna feel really bad. So I'm just gonna continue pronouncing it Oda, because that's what I hear. I knew Oda was a brilliant author, brilliant writer. That's what I kept on hearing. That's what really pulled me to the series. So I was like really avoiding it. Everyone was like, oh, it is such a mastercraft writer, masterful writer. He's a mastercraft writer. And 3 volumes into this 100+ volume epic, I can already see that. Like, I keep on thinking about these small little things that he's done within the chapters and like within the story that are just like so brilliantly executed in their minuteness. And I'm just like, on every page, I just want to get to the next page, but I also just don't want to leave that page, because like, I don't know how to explain that, but like when I finish a chapter, I'm like, give me the second one, give me the next one. I think that's a good reason, good thing. I think it's a good thing that I'm reading these like physical ones, because like if I was reading the online version, I know what would happen. I'll just keep on going, and then it would be like 5 hours later and it would be like done with 5 more volumes. Yeah, I had a comment about the art style. I have grown to like it. Like, it's not my style, but I'm kind of obsessed with it as well now that I've gotten used to it, and I keep like loving it more with each panel. Everything, I'm just loving it more, like with every single kind of, not even a page, everything. I'm just loving it as I'm reading it more. The expressions are a really good example of something that I wasn't a major fan of in the very first volume, because I was just getting used to it, but already I'm kind of loving it, and like they bring this level of humor to it that I'm really vibing with. I'm just so excited to see where we're going. I don't want to ramble on about the 3rd volume, because I know I could, but I would just like be hitting on the same point. So I just wanna go and read the 4th volume, and then let's see what I think then. And I was gonna say I'm hoping I'll update you immediately after, but I know I won't. I finished volume 4. Is that bad? If that Plex is there. Oof. And I'm still properly entertained. I'm very much enjoying it still. I don't think volume 4 was quite as strong as volume 3. Like volume 3 really hit the mark. Like I said, it was just like solid in the first one, then in the second one it made me more invested, and in the 3rd one it really grabbed me. Grab me? Yes, we are pirates, so we don't grab people, we grab them. So it really grabbed my attention. And the 4th one kept it, but like one problem I think the 4th one had, besides my leg just being there, was that it was too heavily focused on the action. Like, don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed the action so far in the series. It's really amusing. There are a couple of panels that I took a screenshot of because they were too great. Like some of those cat fights, like the catapult and the, I can't remember the other one, but like it's dumb humor, but it's humor for me, and I really enjoyed that. But then again, it got a bit like, it started to drag a bit. like, I don't know, I feel like if the action of the story that we're focused on would have been shorter, I might have complained that it's like too fast paced. But now that it's more stretched out, I feel like we're dragging and we're kind of getting caught up on the action. But it might also be a me problem because I'm not a fan of action in any fiction, and I kind of already said that, I think. But besides that, I'm really enjoying this story. I can't remember anyone's names. Captain Miro. Nero? Nero. 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 I don't have my tablet with me with which I read, and I don't have my phone with me, so you're gonna have to bear with me. But I can't remember the captain's name that they're fighting against, that is trying to kidnap the girl. First of all, I think I'm really enjoying the girl so far, especially at the end when she pulled back gun. I was like, you go girl. And I'm really kind of hoping she will stick with us for a longer time. And also kind of the lion guy. One thing I didn't mention about the lion guy, I do really appreciate how he's got a long nose. I kind of wish the girl and the lion guy would stay with us, with the crew, for a bit longer. I'm hoping for that, but it can also be the scenario where we just leave them behind. But I don't know, I'm kind of really hoping that we'll stick with them, because I didn't know how I was feeling about the lion guy in the beginning, but now I've really grown attached to him. So that's the good thing about like the stretching of the story and like kind of dragging it, is that I'm really growing attached to these characters. And it's kind of weird because I would think, especially because we're focused in on these action scenes, that I wouldn't grow these attachments to these characters so easily, because it's not like the type of plot stuff, like happenings, that really like let you sit with these characters when you usually get attached. But I really am, and it's weird. But what I was saying about the action is that though it has its negatives, it's also like just really fun. And like talking about the negatives is just that I think I would want more scenes of just talking, which is weird, sounds weird. Not just talking, but like just kind of other interaction between the characters than just fighting and talking between the fights. Like that's fun, but my favorite scenes have definitely been between the girl, the heiress, and the captain. Is it like Nero? It can't be Nero, because like I can't think of anything right now. But I really like the interactions that we've had with those, and just actually any scene with Captain Nero. I'm gonna call him Captain Nero. Any scene with the captain, I'm really enjoying him. Like I'm loving him. Whereas with Buggy, I was kind of indifferent to him. I'm loving this dude. Like I'm not loving him, I hate him. Like within the page, I'm like, we want you gone. Why do I keep saying we? I want you gone. Like I really don't like you, but I love that. It's that hate-love relationship with a villain. And I really appreciate that, because like with Buggy again said, wasn't really feeling anything, but I've been told by people in our group chat that I will fall in love with the clown. And maybe I will, maybe I won't, but maybe I will. Have I got anything else to say about this? Because like, I feel like nothing happened. It felt kind of long, but it also felt really short. And that's probably because we had a lot of stuff about a very small part of the story, if that makes sense. Oh yeah, that was the one thing. I still don't know if I prefer to read it in Finnish or in English. One thing that I like about English more is that there's this problem with the Finnish translation, and it's not a part of the translation. It's just because like, obviously because it's originally written in Japanese, so the speaking bubbles are really narrow, and Finnish has got very long words. So like something you might say in 7 words in English, you could say that in 3 words in Finnish, basically. And what that means is that you've got a lot of those lines, like it's part of the word and then it's another part of the word, and sometimes it's like the third part of the word is on another, like it's below each other, so it's really difficult to read in that aspect. Where in English, it's usually just that word. I kind of also just prefer the Finnish translation, or maybe I don't. We will find out, because next time I'm reading volume 5. I was about to leave, but one thing I've started to notice is that Zorro is constantly injured. He has been nothing but injured, I think. I think all of the main characters are injured. Luffy gets injured constantly. Even the girl has been injured a couple of times, but I can't think of a moment where Zorro isn't bleeding or hasn't been bleeding. Dude, I think this is gonna be, I don't know, am I making like a wrong prediction in thinking that this is gonna be like a constant thing? Because like I feel like that could like be like a proper trait of the story. It's like a running joke. Zoro is always injured. Or maybe it's just nothing and I've taken notice of it for nothing. One Piece Volume 5. We're nearing then. For some reason I thought I had one volume to go. And then I was like, no. But what did I think of this one? What did it resonate? What thoughts occurred? Well, the primary thought that occurred was that I definitely prefer the Finnish translation. There are a multitude of reasons, but I think the two main ones are, I think it has more character. Like, not just that the characters have more character, but the way it's translated, like just the way the dialogue reads has more character, if that makes sense. Secondly, but I love the fact that in Finnish not everything is translated. So like bang, doom, etc. A lot of them aren't translated, but they are in the Japanese characters, and they might have like in small letters somewhere where the translation, or like below the panel. And I actually really like that. It feels more, like I said, it reads like it has more character. But about the actual story, I definitely prefer this one over the volume 4. This is definitely, I mean, again, a lot of it is just action, but because we got the conclusion to the action, it felt much more, I don't know, justified. And also because we didn't just spend the entire volume dealing with the action, that might have had an impact on my opinion as well. But I really like the conclusion to that, a little storyline. And I really did like the character of Captain Kuro. I can't believe I kept on saying like Nero. I really liked him as a villain. He was an actually dislikable character in the best way possible, where you're just like, I wanna defeat you. I want these guys to defeat you right now. Which I didn't feel, like I said the last time, which I didn't feel like with Buggy. But then again, we keep getting these small little panels about Buggy's adventures. They are definitely intriguing, but because it's just one panel, I usually forget what it was by the time we get to the next one. But I'm definitely intrigued, especially with how he's been hyped up for me right now. Like, I need to love him apparently. About the other characters, well, as expected, Usopp is coming. I don't know how to pronounce that. Is it Usopp or Usopp? So I really enjoyed the fact that we got Usopp with us, that he continued the journey with the crew. I wasn't expecting the girl whose name I keep on forgetting, Kaya. I wasn't really expecting Kaya to join, but I really wanted her to. But I'm glad that we at least got Usopp, and I can't wait until he gets reunited with his father, because paternal relationships, they make me go soft. I am here for them and I can't wait. But also, I really like the scene in which Usopp and the crew leave, and Usopp has to say goodbye to their town kids, whether they're called Carrot, Onion and Paprika. I still love Luffy. I don't have anything really more to say about Luffy. Luffy is very consistently overly honest and just, he's Luffy. What else is there to say about him? He's such a character. It is weird because like I feel like he's the most well-defined of the characters. Like, he has the most kind of him character in my mind, but I can't describe him. I'm just like, he's Luffy, you know? Zoro has had quite a small role lately, at least in this volume. I can't think of many scenes or like many anything to do with Zoro, but I really like Zoro. And I'm wondering, how do you pronounce it? Is it, because I don't think, is it Zoro instead of Zoro? After we left the small village behind, I was really enjoying the whole thing, you know, they were like, oh, let's get a chef. Now I can't say chef. I meant to say chef, not chef. Why did I say chef? Chef is like, anyways, we needed to get a chef to our crew, and I really enjoyed that. The character who the character, not just the character, but all the characters we were introduced on the restaurant, I'm assuming pirate ship, were very much intriguing, and I can't wait to see whether they will be more villainous towards our crew, or why do I keep saying our crew? Yeah, I'm part of the crew right now. Why are they more, like, are they gonna be more villainous towards the crew, or are they gonna be like allies? Both sound terrific. But yeah, I'm really vibing with the art style now that I've gotten used to it, like the expressiveness, but just like the details. That was one thing I loved about the English translation, is because it is online, so it really is like sharp and clear, the quality. One thing I did want to check, yeah, that was what I was looking for, because some of the things aren't translated in the Finnish translation, which I really enjoy, and I wanted to check whether they were translated in the English one. And yeah, like in the second to last chapter of volume 5, it's a good example, because in the English translation, the two dudes whose names I can't remember, who are introduced to the crew, Yao, Brother Zolo, Brother Luffy, Brother Usopp, Brother Nami, and that's kind of the joke, like, I'm a brother now. Does he have to call me brother? That's what she says. But in the Finnish translations, it says Zoro Aniki, Luffy Aniki, I don't know how to pronounce Japanese, Usopp Aniki, Nami Aniki. And she answers, when did I also become Aniki? Like, it's just in the corners explained when they say Aniki, that it means like kind of like brother. It's a form of addressing someone. That's also one thing I really enjoy about the Finnish translation, is that some like formal words aren't always translated from the Japanese, but they are like just, I was gonna say anglicized, that's the word, anglicized, but they're not anglicized as it's Finnish. Latinized is probably the correct term. Those are my thoughts so far. I can't wait to finish it. I think I'm gonna jump into the 6th one and probably finish it today and the next one tomorrow. I can actually hear a bee. No, I can actually see a bee here in the room with me, so I'm just living in the hope that I won't get attacked. We have one more volume to go and the first arc is done, and I know I've been kind of hinting at this, probably stated it once already, but I think I can truly, officially, firmly state it now for the first time. I'm obsessed. I am literally obsessed. I love this. This is exactly what I've been looking for. This is exactly what I've wanted, what I've needed lately. I kind of wish I would have started this a couple of months ago, but I'm so happy that I finally started this, because I've been like, yeah, I'm gonna start it one day. Like, I remember I was in Tallinn last year and I almost bought like a collected version of the first 4 volumes, I think, and then I didn't. I was like, it's so long, I will start it one day, but it's so good. It's exactly what I love in kind of this, like I said, absurdist, but just like this fun, adventurous, entertaining, but comforting, but also just like brilliantly told. Bit of adventure fantasy. This has given me the same vibes as, well, this is gonna sound like a wrong and an obvious and a weird comparison, but Pirates of the Caribbean, I was obsessed with that when I was a kid. Like, between the ages of like 5 to like 12, I rewatched that several times a year, and I've been looking for that type of pirate adventure fun, and I've been trying out all these different pirate medias. Like, I read The Adventures of Amina al-Sirafi this year, and I was really looking forward to that being that, but I haven't actually found it. And I wasn't expecting One Piece to be that. I thought it would be like too silly to kind of fit into that category, and I don't know why I thought that, because I'm obsessed with these characters. I want to travel with Luffy and Nami and Zoro and Usopp, and I can't wait for the crew to get bigger and for me to have spent more time with these people, because I already feel like I've grown so attached, though I've only read like what, 6 volumes and like what, week and something that it's been since I started this. I was obsessed with the 6th volume. It is definitely my favorite one of them all so far. Just like all the shenanigans at the ship, at the restaurant ship. This had the best written kind of action because it wasn't too reliant on fights. It was more confrontations. Like I've said, I really enjoy the side characters, and I feel like every character that is introduced, it takes like a couple of panels for me to, if not grow obsessed, at least grow interested in them. And like the rival captain, which I'm assuming is gonna come back, as well as the swordmaster. I took a picture of the page when the swordmaster first appeared because I was like, I'm gonna like this guy. I knew it from the first panel. I was like, this is a kind of looking character in which I'm gonna be obsessed with. And I really can't wait for him to return. I know it's gonna probably be a while. Like, it's been too long of a while already without Shanks. And I know it has like One Piece being it. I know One Piece has like 100 and however many volumes already. So it can be a bit of a while until we return to these characters. But I can't wait. And it's that anticipation that I've been really missing. It's like, I love series, but I'm really rubbish at reading series, especially if it's like a series that is built from several long books, or if it's just I don't know how to say this, kind of a series that takes a lot from me. That's why I really like Saga, but I was so kind of sad because like Saga had so little of it, so you could be done literally in a couple of weeks. And what I'm referring to with something that takes a lot from me is, for example, The Sandman. It took me quite a while to finish The Sandman, although there are only 10 volumes, because it is just a heavy series. It is very entertaining, but it's also heavy. I haven't mentioned themes once in this video, and that's kind of my go-to word, but though this has got themes very much woven in, it's not too heavy on them, and it's very rare of me to say I'm glad that a series or a story or anything is not too reliant on themes, because themes is the thing I love. But right now, not even right now, anytime, I just crave sometimes for something to bring me comfort and like entertainment. This is actually funny, and that was kind of something I was fearing, that I wouldn't find it funny. I would find it kind of just a bit cringe is too harsh of a word, but like something between silly and cringe. I would find it just kind of okay. Yeah, I get it's humorous, but I'm not actually enjoying the humor, but I'm very much smiling and not necessarily laughing. But I think I've already said that my favorite type of a humor is not a type of humor that is gonna make me like laugh out loud. I like that this not only has like humor that are like the joke that is like evidently on the page, but kind of more meta and subtextual humor behind the humor and behind the panels, let's say that. I was not expecting Nami to leave. Not gonna lie, I thought she would be with the crew for a bit longer. I thought she might like disappear at some point, but I wasn't expecting it to happen so early. I'm kind of hoping that we will get something from Nami, but I don't know if we will, considering how focused in on we are on Luffy as the main character. But I kind of like that she just went away. Like she always was like, I'm not part of your crew. And I love the fact that she held on to that, even though she grew attached to the characters, that like she's like crying when she left. I was already expecting us to diverge from kind of the intended goal of the story a bit, because Luffy is definitely very much has his mindset on One Piece, but I knew we would have to diverge a bit, so I was looking for what that would be, the diversion. And I really liked the way we both got like interaction with people who have been on the Grand Line. Is it called the Grand Line? I always forget what it's called, the Grand Line. And we kind of get an insight into the goal, the route that we're gonna take without actually getting there, and also getting that in the same volume in which Nami is leaving, and we get this excuse to diverge from the goal of the story a bit. I wasn't really expecting Zoro to die, but I kind of was scared a bit for a moment because I was like, oh no, but then I was like, no, they can't kill Zoro. They didn't, and I loved the way they executed that. I absolutely loved it because I was like, he can't win the Swordmaster. That would be like bad writing. But I also don't think he's gonna die, so what was it gonna be? And obviously it was the obvious decision, but it was a well executed obvious decision, if that makes sense. I love the way this story is either it goes into an absolutely bonkers direction and it kind of takes a complete left turn and we get like all this absurd stuff, or what happens is very obvious but in the best executed way possible. And yeah, no, grammar is not something I'm known of. Good grammar. I mean, grammar, we all do grammar. Last thing was, oh yeah, we were left with the cliffhanger that I think it's that Sanji is Jeff's son, and I was expecting that. I can't remember, was it in this volume or the previous one, when Sanji said that he has his own reason to stay on the restaurant ship, and I was like, he's got to be the son of someone. I think that was a reveal at the end when he did the leg thing, and yeah, I love the way this ended. I have no idea where I unburied the misconception that the first saga is 7 volumes. It's 11, I think. Shut up, Kate Bush. I have no idea why I thought the first saga was 7 volumes. And now that I'm thinking about it, I was like, yeah, that's actually like, would be quite quickly wrapped up the first saga, if it would end in the next volume. So I'm gonna end this here. I still look rubbish. So no proper outro, like I said, cause I don't want to kind of extend this vlog to be 2 hours long. I don't know how long it's already been. So I think I'm gonna divide this in 2, and I'm gonna tomorrow get from the library the following volumes, because I think I've got volumes 8 to 14 in the library at the minute, ready to be picked up. So I'm gonna get those, and next week I'm gonna be finishing off the first saga, because I said I will come back with my kind of proper thoughts. I thought I would wrap this up a bit more neater. You know, the setting is not great. I just literally put up the camera where I was at. I think this is a perfect place to kind of stop for a little bit. I mean, I'm not stopping for a little bit because I'm reading volume 7 to 9, but kind of like pausing the vlog, because in a lot of ways volume 6, like I said already, it felt like a soft ending to, like, I don't want to say episode 1, but you know, kind of mid-season finale. We got a lot of character work with both Zoro and Luffy, whereas they've been very determined and kind of like, I will get there, I will get there, I will get there, and they were definitely that in volume 6, but they kind of got a new kind of response where it wasn't just they succeed at everything. I mean, that hasn't really been the case, but they for the first time got like a match that was more even, or not even, but more real. Like, they weren't the ones on top of it, and they kind of got a reality check, but in a very One Piece kind of manner, where it should have been a reality check, but these are Luffy and Zoro, and they're not answering to that reality check like normal people would, where they would go, maybe I'm thinking about things for a little bit. No, obviously not. They are continuing with their mad obsession with this goal of theirs, and it's brilliant. And I love where we've come so far, and I love how connected I've already become to these characters, how much they already feel like developed characters whom I've known for quite a bit, even though we just got to know each other. But that's also kind of how I feel like the characters are feeling of each other within the story, whereas they only kind of just met, but they already feel interlinked. Like when Nami said goodbye, she only said she will be with them for a while, they're just working together a while, but when she left, she felt, as we saw, heartbroken. I don't want to say heartbroken, but taken back. You know, she's still leaving, but is she leaving the same person? No. And I'm 6 volumes in and I'm not the same person anymore. Am I exaggerating? A bit. Like I exaggerated when I for the first time shared my opinions about One Piece, where I was like, this is immaculate. It is immaculate. I will hold on to my word, it is immaculate. And this is where we are concluding this first update, me beginning my journey with One Piece. And yeah, next week I will be finishing the first saga. It was nice to have you around if you're still around, and if you did enjoy my quite messy thoughts and opinions so far of One Piece, do stick around for my update next week, when I will return to Luffy and Zoro and hopefully Nami and Yusuf, we can't forget him, and everyone else that we gather along the way, and Buggy, because yeah, Buggy will be it apparently. I feel like I need an outro, but I can't think of anything to say, so